Hello everybody and welcome back to Ethiopia, where we are, holding the line against Pratiharan here. Although there is a naval battle occurring in the Mediterranean, so that is vaguely exciting. We'll see what ends up happening over there. We do have plans in place for if they decide to do anything, but the biggest thing that we are currently working on is we were not, strictly speaking, ready for the World War to actually break out quite yet. We are still working very heavily on construction of military factories and infrastructure. We're also working on increasing our production efficiency. That is definitely something that we need to do. Now, I would like to... Let's see, that's 200 political power there. Fascinating. Yeah, this is all fine for now. Okay, so... The line here against Pratiharan is just kind of chilling. We are taking some attrition, there's no doubt about that, but we are making some progress on getting the production efficiency up. That's going reasonably well. So I'm glad to see that, and once we start getting our upgraded equipment out here, and particularly once we get in some Alpine regiments, which I believe we are researching right now. Yeah, we're currently researching. Once we get in some Mountaineers, then I believe we can really push into Pratiharan. And I'm thinking right now we might want to put some mountain infantry just directly into the assault division. Like perhaps replace this tier of infantry with mountain infantry or something. Might be something we want to do. We're doing quite well in this war, though. I mean, this is all holding, so that's fine. They did grab a little territory from us because they caught us off guard, but we'll be able to go in relatively soon-ish. We do have additional units on their way over, kind of. They are having some supply issues. That's a thing. America canceled their Lend-Lease. Fine. We don't really care. That is 100% okay. And you know what? I just realized I forgot to queue up all those extra military factories that I said that I was going to do off camera. Well, while we're waiting, I guess we'll work on queuing up some military factories. That is fine. I'm not too concerned about that. Infrastructure can never be up above 10, right? That is correct. We probably want to put in the infrastructure upgrades on the states that we stole from France and Poland. I mean, we didn't steal them. They were ours to begin with. They were originally stolen. I mean, every state is stolen from Ethiopia, ultimately. So we'll get those in. That seems okay. There's a couple states around here. Oh, and the states where it was occupied over here, it looks like they canceled the construction that was queued up. Okay, that's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. Hello, I missed that one. I think way back at the beginning I missed that one. Okay, so next we're going to get some military factories. And we're just going to queue up all of the military factories. The game is currently paused, and I'm going to unpause it while we're doing this. Just because we are killing time, kind of, anyway. Oh, there's political correctness finishing up. We should definitely grab something else. Perhaps indoctrination? That does give us stability, actually. 5% stability. That will be very good for us. Our stability is not great. So we'll grab indoctrination. And then, I want to look at that tree. What's below that? Political commissars, division recovery rate, plus 10%. Okay, and 200 more political power. War support, division attack on core territory, division defense on core territory. Okay, those are halfway decent. I do want to spend that political power, however, on upgrading to total mobilization if I can. No, we can't go to total mobilization because no enemy country has more than 50% of our total number of factories, and they never will. They never, ever will. So we need to spend that on something else. Perhaps conscription? Ultimately, though, we're doing okay on manpower. I'm not too concerned about that right now. Infrastructure and civilian factory and refinery construction speed. I want military construction speed, but I also want this guy for the infrastructure construction speed. Right now, though, all we're doing is we're building military factories. So I think that will be okay. Well, let's continue our queuing of military factories for right now. And we also do need to continue to improve our infrastructure, but that is something that can happen a little bit later on. Military factories are kind of more important right now, and we're getting close to being done with those that we queued up at the very beginning. I do wish that I could, like, click and drag. It happens when it's released. I suppose I could just do it from here, like this. I may miss a state or two, but this is definitely a little bit quicker and kind of easier to see. Kind of. So that'll be fine. We're just going to continue constructing as many of these as we possibly can. There are some naval battles being lost over there. We don't necessarily care until they start invading. At which point we care a little. Okay. We are making some good progress over here. I am missing that island there. Are we missing? Nope, we're not. Excellent. Let's see. There's a naval invasion, but it's not a dangerous one, so we have troops in place for it. Wonderful. Is that a missed area? No, it is not. Fine. Well, this is definitely a lot of things that we need to queue up. There's no doubt about that. Okay, I just want to zoom in over here because of all the Greek islands. Yeah, that seems absolutely fine. Let's just get this all queued up. And in the meantime, we are still constructing military factories. We do want to get that infrastructure started, though. I wish that we could set priority for civilian factories based on type of construction. Where, like, we could say that we want 50% of civilian factories to focus on infrastructure and 50% on constructing, say, something else. Military factories or extra civilian factories. That would be super nice if that was a possibility. Alas, it is not. But that would definitely be a nice, convenient way to do this, because I do want to be working on some level of infrastructure. But I don't want to be focusing entirely on infrastructure, which this priority list... I mean, we could, like, alternate the priority list, I suppose. That would be a theoretical possibility. But kind of a strange one, to be sure. Okay. That's a lot of military factories queued up. That's not quite all of them. I believe we may have missed some in Galapagos. Nope, Galapagos is good to go. Okay. There's a naval combat happening. That's fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and... Do we want to leave this as is? No, I want to be in construction. We're working on infrastructure right now. How long does infrastructure take to construct? 1 month. Compared to a military factory, let's bump, say, this military factory up to top priority. And that takes slightly longer. Noted. I mean, we could simply do something like this, right? And split between infrastructure and military factories. It'd be a little tedious to do, but we could move up, say, these military factories. Something like that. And then simply split our civilian factories between these by doing this number. It's definitely tedious. And I do wish there was a way to do this a little bit more expediently. Although maybe we should just leave it like this. And say, once these military factories finish up... Well, no, I really do want... Can we select these multiple? No, we can't. I really do want to have these split like this. 50% and 50%. Because I do want to be working on infrastructure. That is definitely something that we need. And I don't want to be working purely on military factories, but that is a very tedious process. So I think we'll leave it like this for now. I'm not super happy with that, but it'll have to do. How are we doing on our production? I'm not concerned. How are we doing on our production? This is needed for reinforcement, sure. I want to see how much is currently needed for upgrading, though. That would be a useful thing. It's not flicking over to that just now. Fair enough. We do have a bunch of military factories finishing up here, and I kind of want to... We need support equipment, but we need light tanks the absolute most. Okay, we can see here we need 300,000 for reinforcement. Noted. Well, our production efficiency is going to continue to come up, and it will raise our cap in 6 days as well, so that's great. Super happy to see that. We do have divisions coming up here. Now, these divisions are not a full army yet, because their armor divisions are waiting on tanks. Yeah, that's to be expected, I suppose. Okay, we will turn that into another new army on the Asian theater, and we will set their front line to be right along this border, as expected. This is which army? This is Army 13. Yep, that's fine. And we will, of course, set their offensive line to be right there. We definitely don't want to put much more for armies on this front, though, because we're having some major supply limit issues over here. That is something to be concerned about. Now we can modify our government again, and I do want to put in this captain of industry for the infrastructure creation speed, not for anything else. So that'll be fine. Now we could also theoretically put in a ship designer, a tank designer, something like that. We don't have the power for it just now, but there's our advanced machine tools raising our production cap. That is great. That's another production cap, but that's 2 years ahead of time. Oh yeah, that's mutually exclusive, of course. I want to potentially go into engineering. This is 1 year ahead of time. We could simply grab radar stations, basic fire control systems, things like that. That would be okay. Excellent. Now, how is our production doing? Well, our production efficiency is coming up. We definitely want to wait before pressing this attack until our production is close to the cap. There's our air superiority finishing. That's great. Let's grab... These are both kind of mediocre. Interception detection, I guess? Yeah, we'll grab that. I actually don't think that's that mediocre. I think I misread it. But anyway, I do want to potentially start working on developing some of these resources. America wants to send more Lend-Lease. We'll take it. We'll happily take it. So our supplies are in progress. There's no doubt about that. We're doing, I think, reasonably. Arabia still has naval invasions going on, but this is defended now. They're not going to run into any issues there, I don't think. Okay. So our production efficiency is definitely coming up. 80.08% is our cap currently. There's a naval combat in the Western Mediterranean. We expect that. I suppose we do have some ships that we have, right? Somewhere? I think... No, I don't think we do, actually. That's fine. We don't need them. They're irrelevant. They can have the Mediterranean. As long as they don't take the land, that's what matters. And we may need ships to strike out at the Americas, but that's fine. These constructions are going nicely. So that's good. How many do we have queued before we start building infrastructure? Okay. I think that's fine. I think that's completely fine. And then we have like 1 million infrastructure queued. Followed by 1 million more factories. Okay. Noted. Yeah, we're definitely having some attrition issues over here because of bad supply. Now, if we check this supply limit here... How does this work in Hoi? I don't actually know. We are taking attrition because of our supply status. Is that because we're lacking the production, or is that because of a supply limit in this state? Now that's a question. I see airbase capacity. I don't see a supply limit. Okay. Well, maybe just increasing infrastructure will help, but I suspect that we're lacking supplies. We are working on that. We have maxed out our light tank first production line, and we're working on our second light tank production line right now. Both have their production efficiency coming up, so that is absolutely great. We are going to see substantial changes in terms of how much of each of these we are producing as our production efficiency comes up. So I'm very, very happy to see that. But we're not quite ready, I think, to attack yet. This will give us 150 political power, which will be useful. We could put in a tank designer, which will definitely be useful, or an industrial concern. Neither of those are particularly good. Artillery, yeah, this is all research speed. I'm not actually very concerned about research speed, because we have so many research slots that I think it's fine. We are going to get Construction 3 very soon, though, which is going to be very useful for us. And there's Indoctrination. Wonderful. I think we will grab Political Commissars next. But yeah, just that 5% stability boost, that's a big, big deal for us. Next, what do we want? Well, that's a good question. That's all ahead of time currently. We could, I suppose, upgrade our engineer companies. And, well, just upgrade our companies in general. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That should be fine. We do have some decisions available, and that is definitely true. We have political power that we should spend. I would absolutely love to put in Army Logistics. Division attrition minus 8%. We're taking like 9% attrition right now, so that's actually going to be huge. Unless that is... Ah, okay, that's multiplicative. Gotcha, not additive. Fair enough, but that's still a good thing for us. Okay. How are these constructions going? Quite well, honestly. They're going to be finishing up pretty soon. Of course, once we have finished up all of our military factories that we have here, hello, concentrated industry, that means that we can queue up even more. That's going to be wonderful. Actually, that's the same number of max... Okay, this is additive. Gotcha. We're going to grab Excavation 3 for sure. Resource gain efficiency. Wonderful. So that does, of course, mean that we can queue up additional military factories. And this is probably something... Yeah, this is almost certainly something that I will do... well, I said I would do it off camera previously, and I was going to say that again, but honestly, I think I kind of will do it right now. This is a slightly tedious process, to be sure. I wish there was a button to just queue all available military factories. Unless... it's at the end of the queue, beginning of the queue. Yeah, that's all well and good. But that's not what I want to do. Okay. Well, we will continue building these military factories. All of these will definitely be queued up after the infrastructure gains. Because we definitely need to put in some infrastructure. There's no doubt about that. Free India declared war on Kalachuris. That's fascinating. We will take a look at that in just a moment here. I want to see what's going on with that, like, factionally. So yeah, let's take a look at that. Free India was, of course, allied with us previously. They're currently independent. Attacking Kalachuris. They kind of hate us. Noted. Okay. Is this a crossable line? Yes, it is. This army, then, well, it needs to be reinforced for sure. Let's put up a front line there. Let's delete this front line. No, this front line. We'll put up this. Nope. Did that wrong. We will put up this front line. There we go. And we will assign these guys to that. They're already assigned. Okay. They definitely need to be boosted up to full strength. That's a thing that they need. As additional divisions come in, we'll probably stop making new armies and reinforce the existing ones. Okay. Overwhelming firepower just finished up. That's nice. And that does give us the access to mechanized offensive. That does give us tank breakthrough plus 10%. We'll definitely spend the points on having that time. Very happy about that. Okay, let us continue our military factory construction for the time being. Until something else pops up anyway. Okay. I want to get all of this up here done. Fantastic. I want to make sure that that is done. I was missing while zoomed out. Fair enough. We'll get Greenland. Yeah, every single one of these needs additional military factories queued up. I really do wish there was the option to just build all available military factories. Or civilian, if you so choose. That would be very, very nice if that was available. Alas, it is not that I know of, so we'll just have to do it this way. I mean, this isn't that much different from doing this in Victoria, right? This is basically the same thing. For the infrastructure, anyway. Except that we'll have to do this, well, only a couple more times. Like 2, maybe? So that's fine. The question is, are we building factories faster than we're expanding our factory capacity? I don't know if that's the case or not. We are building factories quite quickly, which is something to be considering. We'll queue all of this up. America canceled their Lend-Lease. I'm not too surprised by this. They've been turning that on and off for a while. Okay. Looks like we are now working on some of our infrastructure. That is absolutely fine. The question is, just how long will we be working on infrastructure for? The answer is a while. Quite a while. There's our basic fire control system finishing up. We should probably do something about that. I think we'll grab radio detection next. Excellent. And we will continue to build factories because we need supplies for our war machine. Excellent. We are losing some convoy battles. That's okay. We fully expect to yield the seas. Grab those factories as well, as long as we're in here. I just want to finish this up. Get all of these factories made. There is definitely a lot of them that we can queue up. And considering that we're doing relatively fine on conscription, or rather without conscription, I'm relatively happy with that. Now that's of course occupied. And Galapagos. There we go. Nice military factories, Galapagos. And let's just finish up Africa here. Excellent. I may have missed one here or there, but I'm not too concerned. Okay. So this infrastructure will be finishing up and will, of course, be helping out our production as well. So I'm reasonably content with this. Mountain infantry just finished up. That is a big deal for us. I want to start working on mountain infantry 2 immediately, but I want to edit the assault division here, and I want to put in a few units of mountaineers. Would put us over the special forces limit. We could do that, though. So 2 units of mountaineers. Excellent. With the mountaineers, we should be much better at attacking in this region, in theory. So that will be a good thing for us. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to finish preparing for our assault into Pratiharan, and we are going to actually commit to the assault. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.